Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the hottest rock album review show in Surrey, in Hampshire, or whatever. Welcome to my panel, to Trish, to Ian, to Simon, to William, and to Chris.
Hello.
Hello.
We are reviewing the latest rock albums of the month. Today, we are reviewing Bloodorn and their album Let the Fury Rise. And then we're going to give our ratings of how much our listening pleasure was, reveal as to whether they got into our Hall of Fame, and where they sit in our albums that we reviewed, of which there are many, 378 albums to date that we reviewed, who are Bloodorn, not Bloodorn, a new power metal band, but led by Serena lead guitarist Niles Corbaran. The band was formed in 2020 during the pandemic. Silent War winter vocalist Mike Levis, Freedom Corps bassist Francesco Ferrero, and Serena drummer Michael Brush joined the band after hearing the first demos of the album, influenced by bands such as Gamma Ray, Angra, Beast in Black, and the band also draws from some elements of extreme metal scene. Bloodorn's music is very fast and technical, sometimes even brutal, but also very melodic and catchy, extreme power metal. The band Bloodorn is a play on words from the Viking torture method, Bloodorn, better known as Blood Eagle. And blood, in the band's universe, the Bloodorn is like a reaper, a monster, ready to kill and destroy everything in its path. Bloodorn is about to fight against oppression, authority and tyranny, but also about dark, gothic fantasy, shadow cults, war, inner strength, honour, Norse mythology, and even some video game franchises. All of these concepts are reinforced by Bloodorn's stateside image and outfits. Now, talking about torture, let's start with Ian. Ian.
Right.
Talk about torture, and you recommend me. Thank you. I appreciate it. I thought you were talking about yourself for a second.
Well,
there.
actually, I was going to go about being spread eagle, but, you know.
Oh, my God.
Oh my Lord. Okay, right. I'm going to go on there. You know, you were saying about having too much of something, Nige. Yeah. Right. So, Bloodorn, whatever. For the last part, last part of last month, I was actually on a cruise up to Iceland. So, like, listening to some of these tracks, I know these it was the Norwegian thing, but my good Lord, when you got volcanoes going off around you and the ice and it, oh my God, it was that was incredible. Bloodorn. I like the opening instrumental track. I thought that was actually a really good use of an opening instrumental track. It wasn't too long, good build-up. There's great, solid technical guitar work throughout this whole album, and that was absolutely stunning to listen to. However, the vocals were way too heavy and also too high for the singer's range, I thought. Notably, the song Six Wounded Wolves. I mean, I think that's what he sounded like, to be honest with you, in that song. You know, I'm all for high vocals. I mean, clearly, look at the T-shirt, right? But as long as you sound good at that range, and unfortunately for me, the sound was not good in the high range for his vocal. I think you know, that's not to deride his vocal, because actually he's got quite a good voice, but it was just too heavy and just not enough there for me at all. But the guitars were amazing to listen to. Definitely.
Okay, talking about somebody who's always amazing to listen to, Simon!
Oh, thank you. That's the nicest intro I've ever had.
Don't get used to it. Don't get used to it.
Yeah, I won't. So, Bloodorn. So, I'm going to make two opening remarks about this, and only one of them impacts my final score, and I'm going to let you guess which one it is. So the album opens with an instrumental piece, as Ian said, and it blends perfectly into Fear the Coming Wave. So anyone who knows me knows I hate intro tracks, And why is this intro track just not part of the first song? Because it runs so perfectly into it, and the runtime wouldn't make it longer than any other track on the album. So just make it one song. I also keep misreading their name as Bloodborn, which is an amazing game, and any correlation to it should be embraced. But it means I have to correct myself every time I say the name of the band in my mind or out loud. And that's really annoying. So anyway, the actual music. I think I actually kind of mirror a lot of what Ian said. To me, this sort of like their sound is really cool. I do love, sort of power metal. It's one of my favorite genres. But those vocals, they're not to my liking. They are a bit screechy. They are a bit high in places, and as Ian put, I don't think he quite hits it right. They're not bad, but it's just not something that I personally enjoy. I mean, like Let the Fury Rise was a really good track. It's an absolute banger, but. Yeah, and I often find like the title tracks tend to be quite hit or miss on these albums, unfortunately. But the vocals is the only thing that stops it from making it perfect to me. I mean, the rest of the album was cool. There is some good headbanging along there, but nothing really ever gripped me with it. I also was really not into their Square Hammer cover, but it's such an iconic track that they're always going to struggle. But I do have mad respect for them for putting like their own spin on it. Which I always prefer when people are doing covers. But yeah, overall, sort of, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing.
So, which you can aptly describe as Will. He's not terrible, but he's never not amazing either. So, William,
I'm here. Well, I'm here. I exist. I'm around. Hello. I must have been feeling more positive than normal last month because I had quite a nice time with this album. I enjoyed it. I thought obviously, as my illustrious, lovely former speakers have said, the vocals are a bit naff sometimes, let's be fair. Some of the vocals are very good when they go like, do, do, do. Very cool, very nice. Growly, yum, yum, yes, please, more. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It blended a lot of things that I liked. They're really good instrumentals, nice, fast, punchy sounds, good lyricism, I believe is the term for me. Yeah, but also intro tracks are pointless. Make the first song a bit longer and just have that clearly, if the intro blends in like that, just make it part of the song. There's no purpose to it being there other than just to waste my time with another track to artificially increase their track length. Stupid. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I had a very mostly nice time.
Somebody we always mostly have a nice time with is Chris. Chris, what did you think?
Oh, I knew that was coming at me.
Look,
so
you set these segments up for me, right? It's like Chinese whispers. You pass them on.
So you're blaming Will now? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, as I said when we were doing the Unleashed Archers, this just seems to be the month for me because I really liked this album right up until the fifth song. Because as Will said, it's got great music. The lyrics are pretty good, and there's sort of the melodic side of it and harmonic side of it, and then Gods Won't Come turns up, and the screamer just kind of goes right, screamer time, which is fine if you like that sort of thing. I don't, and I think something that Nigel mentioned on Unleashed Archers, you get to a point where there is a balance, and then you get to a point where it's kind of is this all right, and then you get to the point where this is too much for me now. And these two, Unleash the Archers with Phantoma and Let the Fury Rise, sit on either side of that balance for me, and Let the Fury Rise just tips it too far over one side. So up until Gods Won't Come, I was really enjoying this album, and then Gods Won't Come turned up, and it kind of went the other direction. Though I will say Let the Fury Rise, the title track, kind of brings it back a little bit, but yeah, it just kind of, at the second half of the album, the lyrics just kind of go too far. One way or the other, they either go too high or too low. He's kind of whether he's trying to stretch his range to see what he can do or not. It just doesn't work as well for me in the second half of the album. The first half was really good, so yeah, I don't know, didn't really do it for me. So yeah.
Up until that word, I was thinking something nice to say. Trish.
I know what's coming here.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm going to say.
Yes, I do.
Somebody that doesn't always do it for me. Trish,
That's just your own fault, Nigel. That's nothing to do with
saying.
Trish at all. That's your opinion.
Blame Chris. Okay, Trish, what do you think?
Okay, so this album is very fast and sometimes even brutal with its hit you in the face riffs and drums, but it's also very melodic and catchy. It's extreme power metal. However, at times I did find it a bit too aggressive for my listening pleasure, but that doesn't detract from it being a good power metal hitting album, just too much for me.
It's not often that I agree with Chris, but absolutely, every word that Chris had just said, I absolutely felt exactly the same. The first half of this album, I'm going, oh my god, it's Metallica kind of meets kind of old 80s kind of rock and a more modern vibe. I was rocking to this album, rocking. Under the Secret Sign, wow, what a track. And I'm going, oh my god, this is fantastic. And then in comes metalcore, and you go like, really? I mean, I get what you're trying to do, but it just, with those vocals, it just didn't, the blend didn't work. And we were going to come to some albums later where you can mix different genres and it really works. And when it works, it works. I really like some of this album, but it just also got a little bit frustrating for me as well, but there are some crackers in there, and I would be interested. Just like I love that blend of that speed metal kind of old school rock, and it kind of meets, and it wasn't really kind of Metallica because they really slowed it down. It was really loved it. I loved the blend, but just get rid of metalcore didn't really work for me on this particular occasion, and it was just a little bit too much. But solid, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the album, but not in its entirety. Okay, let's reveal our scores. Let's find out. Will they get more than an average of 4? Will they hit our Hall of Fame? Will they potentially get into our Album of the Year notes? Let's find out, shall we? So, Ian, let's start with you then. Let's reveal your score. You're on mute, Ian. Not only have you disappeared, Ian, you're on mute.
I gave this 1.5.
1.5. Simon.
Yeah,
I gave it a 3.
Will.
Oh, mute
Well,
me.
you're on mute.
What is it with you
Will's on mute
dudes?
as well.
What is it?
I'm a whopping 4.5, mate.
Did give it a whopping
Woohoo.
4.5. Chris.
So I was aiming for something near where Will said, but no, it's a 3.5 for me because the screen card made it too heavy for me in the end.
Trish.
I actually got my maths right and I got it slap bang in the middle, 2.5.
No shock that I also give it the same as Chris. I also give it a 3.5. Average of 3.7. 107th in our all-time list. But unfortunately, only 20th in our list for this year so far at 76, which is still good. I mean, it's a good score. 3.7. 107th out of 378 is a solid good score, and it's a solidly good album. And it's definitely, look, let the fury rise within you, people. It's a cracking album. Check it out. And keep on listening. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Please like and subscribe. Thank you to my panel, to Simon, to William, to Trish, to Ian, and to Chris. And keep on listening. We've got 6 other albums that we're about to reveal after this one. Goodbye for now.
Well,
Thank you.